What is up, guys? Welcome back to Two in the Zone. You have the one, the only, the GOAT, Dead Press Picks, and AC giving you guys NBA content a few times every week. But I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Seven Stack Sports. Without them, we wouldn't be doing this show. So thank you so much for Seven Stack Sports. He's doing an amazing guest promotion right now. If you retweet this video right now with me and Dead, if you retweet it, you'll be entered to win $100. Like no attachments, no string attached.
Easy.
Just all you gotta do is retweet for $100, and bang, you can use it and deposit into Seven Stacks, or you just pocket it and spend some money on some dinner or something tonight. But
Easy.
yeah, thank you Seven Stacks Sports for your sponsorship again. Give them a follow. They are the best book on Twitter. Always paying on time, same day payments if you're using Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. And then they have amazing odds boosts. They do minus 105 reduced juice lines. They are the best. They've been partnering with myself and Dead now for almost a year. So we really believe in them. Awesome people over there. Give them a follow, Seven Stack Sports. All right, Dead. Let's get into last night's games, man. Any bets you made in the NBA?
Yes, sir. Yeah, last night, pretty okay night in the NBA. Ended up pretty level. My big play was the Pacers team total under 116 and a half.
Dang, you should have told me I was on the other side.
You're on their team total over?
I didn't know I didn't know Brogdon was out.
Yeah, no Brogdon. Yeah, I just like the number. I thought it was a little too tall, so hit that under there.
Nice.
Lost on the Nets. Had the Nets +4. That was not close. Then I was square last night here with this play. See, I did a NBA moneyline parlay.
Okay, let's hear it.
With the Heat and the Grizzlies. It was at +100.
Easy.
But I know I never do them, but I had to do one last night. So yeah, that was my NBA night. So we made it out there alive in the NBA. Did not have any action on the Kings or the Thunder game. Timberwolves, Cavs led off that game. That one looks like it was a good one, but kind of lopsided games. You tweeted this out this morning, AC. Every favorite covered, and they covered fairly comfortably, right? For the most part. I mean,
except that last one, the Timberwolves Cavs. So I was on the Timberwolves minus 2.5. I think it went up to 3.5, but I was on them early. They ended up winning by 5, but the Cavs actually had the ball with a last second shot, and Beverly played defense to really stop this, this basket from happening and getting backdoored. So Timberwolves did cover. You're right. Favorites ATS went 7-0 last night. They've been actually on fire in 2021, to be honest, or 2022. Sorry, 2022. So hopefully we get some dogs barking back tonight, right, Dad?
Yeah, I mean the NBA, it's such a up and down season, right? It's so long. So like others, like NFL, you only have so many weeks to get right. NBA, you're betting daily, so it's a roller coaster, right? You're gonna be up some of the season, down some of the season. It's gonna be up and down throughout. But like you said, I think the script's gonna flip to some more dogs for college basketball included as well. So we'll get into that tonight. But AC, before we do this with tonight's slate, because we took the weekend off, right? We do not do a show on Saturday or Sunday. What the hell is wrong with the Lakers? Sunday night.
Oh, my goodness.
I fell for it. I took them -1.5. And I told you, I don't think I have one on them as favorite this year. But I have success when they're dogs. But when they're favorites, I just don't win on them. I had to do it, right? I was like, all right, they're playing the Pelicans. They're at home. They're coming off a bad loss. Well, they've been coming off a bad loss all season. But, I mean, what's going on in your opinion here? Because my thoughts are I still think they're going to make the play in, right? There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the standings, I think they're 9th, I believe, right now.
Yes.
Yeah, Portland is playing kind of out of control.
I think they're in tank mode, so.
Yeah, New Orleans is out of control right now with CJ. CJ's been averaging like over 33 points in the last 5.
Right
I agree with you, man. So I guess I'll say this. All right. Russell Westbrook is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a top 75 player of all time, won an MVP, was a top 5 player in the league for many years. The drop off that we've seen with Russell Westbrook this year is enormous. Like I don't even remember another player from one year to the next that dropped off this much. Yeah. And I know all the blame should not be on Russ, right? Because, AD's been hurt. They have no shooting. Their coaching is bad. There's just no urgency or motivation there in LA. But if we have like a 90% Russell Westbrook of last year, I'm not even talking about his MVP year, but last year for the Wizards, when he and Beal were kind of taking the East by storm, the Lakers would be okay. They'll be in the top 8. They would be in the playoffs. Like no one would be talking or, really critiquing them. But his drop off in play, he can't shoot. He can't dribble. His turnovers are absurd. Plays zero defense. And then you could tell there's a huge disconnect. I'm sure you watched it because you had money on it. But it's literally Russell Westbrook. Like I'm talking about on the bench, right? It's Russell Westbrook and then everybody else. Like nobody talks to Russ. Nobody even like acknowledges that he's there, and he's just an awkward person right now. So
yeah, I don't know. I think Russ is the easy one to blame here. See, but I don't know. I think their roster was just built really poorly here by Lay GM. The coming into the year, I was really critical of the Lakers, right? Like I didn't have high hopes for them preseason. I thought they would be like a 4 through 6. I didn't think it would be this bad.
Yeah.
But they don't have any shooting on the team. So, I mean, you're kind of – I don't even know who you – maybe consider Malik Monk their best shooter, right?
I think Monk is their best shooter. I fully agree with you. There's no shooting, and I think Carmelo Anthony started off so hot in the year that he covered up a lot of those, inadequacies. But I would play Monk more. I don't know why they're playing.
Well, they're starting Reeves right now, or they have been.
Reeves is fine. I have nothing bad to say about him really, but like, why are they playing like Horton Tucker?
Yeah, I mean, they come into the year, they thought he was.
They gave him a new deal and everything. A lot of
minutes too. Another guy who really doesn't.
But let's say they make it into the playoffs. I mean, they're just gonna get beat by Phoenix or Golden State anyways.
Right. I mean, but you do have to still respect them as like a low, like as critical as we've been. You don't want to. I don't think you want to play them still because it's still LeBron, and with Davis is back, you'd assume at some point.
Yeah,
but you still don't want to play LeBron as a low seed.
I think they would beat Golden State, to be honest. Like that would be my upset if they're 7 and Golden State is 2, and LA is healthy. LA has to be healthy. I think a healthy LA team would still lose to Phoenix, and a healthy LA team would still lose to John Morant and Memphis, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, we will find out with that. We'll get into that game a little later here, but let's get into tonight's slate. Again, guys, this episode is sponsored by 7 Stack Sports, the best sports book on Twitter. I need my microphone to move closer here. I get one at it, but it's not close. Give them a follow there on Twitter. Again, retweet this video if you're watching. 7 Stacks is going to send someone $100. So it's one person here, but you got to get into it. I know we have about 20 people who've already retweeted it. Hopefully by the end of the episode, we can get a lot more. Make sure to retweet the video below for $100. But you must be following 7 Stack Sports. All right, AC, we were talking all favorites last night. I think some dogs start to bark tonight, but I do not think it's this dog here in the Detroit Pistons as they travel to our nation's capital to take on the Wizards. 3.5-point spread. Total at 216. Money line 160 plus 135. Pistons have been kind of good to us on this show, right? We did the collab on the Pistons last week. I've had a lot of success kind of getting them in some spots this year where they've been valuable. This is not one of them, in my opinion, although the Pistons have been a better covered team than you would think. I'm not going to say they're good, but they've actually been not that bad to bet on this season. Wizards really took a fall off a cliff, right? They started the season as a top 4 seed right after that first month. They've moved way down. They've had injuries to deal with. They obviously moved on from Spencer Dinwiddie. A lot of stuff happened with the Wiz. But this is a game I just sit back and do not touch. What do you think?
Dad, we're on opposite sides on this one. I like Detroit. I think they cover and win outright. You're right. From an ATS perspective, Detroit is 30-31. They're much better than Washington. Washington's only 23-35 against the spread this year. Detroit's playing way better as of late. Their offensive numbers have increased a lot with Cade Cunningham and Jeremy Grant returning to their lineup. I think that they are the two best players on this court. I know Kyle Kuzma is playing a lot better this season, but I like Detroit to cover and get the win. Plus 3.5 on the road against a really bad defense in Washington. I like it. So give me Detroit. That's going to be maybe a side bet between me and Dad.
Yeah, we might have to get into this one. See here, the reason I just can't get there is with them, the number here. I don't know. I could see it. I'm like I said, I'm staying off it. I would lean with the Wiz, but it's going to be a stay away game for me. A lot of guys here, also some moving pieces. Hey, is Kristaps ever going to play for the Wizards? Why is he hurt?
No, man. Dallas fleeced them. Dallas fleeced the Wizards.
Like,
Spencer Dinwiddie with an amazing second half on that 21-point comeback against the Warriors. Mavs are rolling right now.
Is it? So he's hurt. I thought he had COVID. All right. Well, we'll figure that out. Also worth noting, the Wizards are 2 games out of that final play-in spot.
They're done. They're toast.
They're big games though for them. I don't disagree, but I mean the games mean something for them. All right, Hawks and Celtics. This is the TNT game of the night. This is where we were talking dogs favorites. The Celtics, by the way, they had lights out, or they were lights out in the month of February until they have 2 losses that you have to scratch your head with. Right, the Pacers beat them, and they beat the hell out of them. They beat them and the Pistons beat them. So they had a really good month. They only had 2 losses in the entire month, and they were the 2 of the worst teams in the NBA. So maybe they're a play up to your competition, play down to your competition kind of team. They just get home, the Celtics do, after a 3-game road trip that kind of got mixed up here with the All-Star break. So they have not played a home game here, AC, in quite some time. Their last home game was on the 16th of February, so 2 weeks ago, and they lost that to the Pistons. It was one of those crazy losses. Hawks here, though, John Collins, right, he's been out. I think Lou Will has been out additionally. The Celtics seem like they're getting healthier here post All-Star break. The spread is up to 6.5. Who gets this?
This was tough. So I guess you're insinuating you like Atlanta on the road here against Boston.
I think they'll be a public dog, which I don't love. But I think that they have a chance. I think if you get 6.5 or 7 in this game, I think it's a lot of points. Again, I don't think Collins will go. I would obviously prefer him to play. But, I mean, it's still a lot of points. It's not like they have a ton of guys missing here.
Yeah, so you're laying off that first game. I'm laying off this game. It's really hard to read Celtics games, in my opinion, because top-level talent, when we're talking about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, it's like 2 of the better wing players in the league. When they're on, it's hard to bet against them. But like you said, they have some head-scratching losses, not only against the Pacers and Pistons recently, but all year long, and they've been blowing leads all year long. I would say a quiet move they made at the deadline was, to trade for Derek White, got rid of Josh Richardson, and Derek White has been really good for them. He really moves the ball. He moves off the ball. He's just always moving, and he plays defense. So, I mean, I like the Boston team. I think you're right. I think it is an Atlanta play because the line is moving towards Atlanta without John Collins. But Atlanta, to me, is also Jekyll and Hyde. Like, it's hard to read them as well. So for me, I'm just going to lay off between those 2 teams. I bet we get a game where one quarter is going to be like 70, 75 points, and then another quarter is going to be like in the 40s. Like, it's just like hit or miss with this team.
Yeah. They have been a tough team to figure out. These 2 teams did just play on Super Bowl Sunday when the Celtics actually beat them by 10 at home, but the Hawks led that game by as many as 18. So it was a big comeback and a big cover there the last time these 2 teams met up. All right, the Nets and the Raptors, a rematch of last night. Like I said, I was on the Nets last night, +4. That thing was not close. The Raptors, I mean, they came out red hot here, AC, in that game. They had Chris Boucher splashing threes, Precious. They didn't have OG or Van Vliet in that game either. This was not
same with tonight, right? They're both out again tonight.
Yeah, you'd assume they'd be out. Now, is Kyrie, is he out still?
He's out.
He's out for tonight's game. I believe Drummond is going to miss the game because he kind of rolled up his ankle there, so that didn't look too good. And also, Cam Thomas hitting the injury report as well. So they might be without 5 of their best players, right? Cam and Drummond at this point on that team are meaning.
Oh yeah, Drummond is option number 1, number 2, and number 3.
So I mean, Drummond's losing Hakeem Olajuwon right now. They are a 9-point dog here in this game, AC. I think that this is a team total under for me on the Nets. I like those plays because who the hell's going to score the ball for them? I mean, we know they have Patty Mills, right, and Seth Curry. You'd assume they're going to be the guys that they kind of turn to. But Mills is shooting 25% in his last 11 games. He's on some crazy cold streak. He is their leading scorer entering this game with 12 points. That's their big guy. And I do want to mention
they're the NBA version of IUPUI. There's no one on this team right now.
That's what I mean. And I also want to mention the Raptors, good defensive team, and they're one of the slower paced teams in the NBA. So limited possessions when you play the Raptors, right? They don't give you a ton of chances. They match up pretty well. They switch everything. Everyone seems like on the Raptors, they can bring up the ball. and do different things. Nets also only scored 97 points last night, and they had Thomas, they had Drummond, two guys that they probably won't have tonight. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, this game is super fishy. I like that look of the team total under there. Like you said, 97 only last night against at home in Brooklyn. Now they're traveling on the road. I think it's a little fishy, right? Because they lost by basically 40 last night. It's the second night of a back-to-back for both teams. Brooklyn's on the road, and they're only dogs by 8.5, 9 points without anybody. It's a weird line. To me, like, I can't back the Nets, right? You have to back the better team here is the Raptors, but the line to me is a little fishy. But I do like your look. I like the team total under. Maybe the Nets get lucky and Patty Mills gets hot or Seth Curry gets hot, but it's easy to defend just, spot up shooters. So I think the Raptors should roll in this game.
Okay. Yeah, I think the team total there is my favorite play. But like I said, a lot to digest in that one. Who's going to be in, who's going to be out. A lot of moving pieces come up in this game. All right, 3 games to go here. Clippers and Rockets. A little bit of a rematch here between the two teams. The Rockets almost got them last time, they say, and that would not have been sitting nice with me and you for that team total under, which, by the way, they can – what do we have, 27.5? So they would have to win 13 games. The Rockets would have to win –
We're good, bro. We're
13
good.
of their next 22. I don't think they're going to get there, but these are the games tonight that we really can't have them win. I'm going to say this, though. I like them with the points tonight. I think 7's a lot in this spot, right? Because I think this Rockets team, they just played the Clippers, and it went down to the last – they won by 1.
Clippers. Yeah, they were up all game. The Clippers came back to kind of steal it at the end.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It is a Rockets play with the points. But they're just a really bad team, man. They're 1-9 in their last 10 straight up. I think they're like 1-15 against the spread at home in their last 16. Wow. So it's like a horrible, horrible team.
All right, so
if you like the Rockets tonight, which I think you and I kind of agree with, I would maybe look into Christian Wood props. I think when it's a bad team like this, especially towards the end of the year, I think there's going to be certain players that are more motivated as they get into the summer and look into their contract situation. Because as far as the team is concerned, I can't back Houston. They're just so bad.
They have been just ice cold. I mean, they've been brutal of late. But tonight, I like them. I'm going to go with them in this spot. I think it's too many points. And the Clippers, they just don't have a ton of firepower offensively. So give me that play tonight. All right, the Warriors and the T-Wolves here, AC. Warriors are on a little bit of an extended, cold streak here. They just seem like they can't – they've just been up and down, right? Like they're trading wins. They're trading – like they just haven't really found a flow in a while. A lot of injuries, obviously. Draymond's been out. Clay's been out. Obviously, Wiseman's been out for an extended period of time. Like, they just haven't really been able to get healthy all of a sudden. Tonight, though, they are a 1.5-point road favorite. What's your thoughts?
I think this is going to be the most bet or public bet game of the night. I think everyone expects that Golden State bounce back, right? They were up 21 against Dallas, and then Dallas went on like a 28-3 run or something absurd in the fourth quarter to steal that game away from Golden State. So now they're traveling up to Minnesota, who doesn't play any defense. T-Wolves are on a second night of a back-to-back where they just, beat the Cavs last night. So everything points towards a Golden State Warriors bounce back, but I'm not going to do it, man. I actually lean Minnesota in this game. I'm going to lay off personally, but if Minnesota, gets down early, I think it's a great live spot for them because that offense is still really good and explosive. And without Klay Thompson, without Draymond, Wiseman, they are just missing some firepower right now. I think Steph Curry went through a stage in the season where he couldn't miss. And now when the entire defense is kind of zeroed in on him, he's going through his shooting struggles. So right. Also, we've kind of seen a step back or step backwards from Jordan Poole, who started off the season super hot. He's kind of just going through, some of the growing pains that young players have all the time. So I think from a talent standpoint, I think Minnesota is way better here. They have 3 of the top 4 players on the court on one team, and they still have Beverly to kind of, be a nuisance for Curry tonight. They still have Malik Beasley. Jaden McDaniels can guard Curry too. So I like this Minnesota team. I'm not gonna back them like pre-flop, but if I see a spot live, I'm definitely gonna jump in.
All right, this is the game I want to get into. The Lakers and the Mavericks here, man. This is the game of the night, in my opinion, because this game to me is the Lakers season in a lot of ways, right? So I'm taking the Lakers tonight, right? Because no one else will. So everyone watching this probably not, really sold on them. I'm gonna have an article up on them later tonight, kind of into
Beautiful.
why.
Yeah.
My thoughts here are simple. Like what they went through in that Sunday night game. Typically, NBA regular season games in February, they mean very little to a season, but that game was significant because there was footage of the Lakers players getting into it with fans.
Yeah.
It's an ugly scene right now. And for me, that fourth quarter came and Frank Vogel left his starters in until like 2 minutes left. I think he's trying to, send them, like, continue to play with them, right? Keep them together, trying to build some type of chemistry back. I think they come out with a different effort tonight. I think they were embarrassed, right? They're getting booed.
Oh, for sure.
And you don't hear LeBron James get booed ever, right? Like, he's the one guy, especially, here. I mean, when he's home, obviously on the road, he gets booed a lot. But the Lakers fans, they were getting into it with him, right? On him. He kind of some back and forth verbally with fans. Ugly scene. So I trust LeBron because I think LeBron is the greatest basketball player since Jordan, right? He's having a great season. It's not LeBron.
Because he is, yeah.
Yeah, he is. And I think he's going to come out well-motivated tonight. I think this team comes out well-motivated. And 5.5 points at home, AC. Like, if you told me this line before this season, people would laugh at you, right? Being like, hey, the Lakers are getting 5.5 points at home. And I know you're a Mavericks fan, but the Mavericks aren't any world beaters here, right?
I agree with you, Dad. So Mavs right now are a little overvalued. They just beat the Warriors. They're on a nice little streak since Porzingis. Luka's been on fire since they traded Kristaps away. But from a talent standpoint, they're not that much better than the Lakers. It's really Luka and a bunch of role players. Even Tim Hardaway is still out. So you have to have some amazing shooting from guys like Spencer Dinwiddie or even Dorian Finney-Smith. And if you're going to count on those guys, you're not going to win a lot. So I think LeBron, the only thing with the Lakers, Dead, and I wouldn't say I disagree with you, but LeBron can go out and score 50 and this team could still lose because the team is just so bad. Maybe not against the Mavs because Mavs don't have an offense, but any other team that has a adequate offense in the league, LeBron can drop 50 on you and they would still lose by 20 points. And I think there's a stat every time the game is on national TV, because we know Lakers always on national TV, but there's a stat out there where LeBron scores more than 30 points and they have a really bad record, right? Mm-hmm. And it just goes to show you that if the Lakers are depending on LeBron to score, that means the rest of their guys are shooting poorly or not doing what they're supposed to do. And I think that's just a losing proposition. If the Lakers come out and LeBron has like 6 assists or 7 assists in that first quarter, then, maybe they have a rhythm going with their shooting and the Lakers can kind of steal it in the end. But I agree with you. If you're playing 5.5 points, I think they win the game, right? Yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah, I do. I think you take them on the money line tonight. And again, this is a pick that I get why people are sketched out with, right? Like, why are you taking them again? But you and I being in this business, this is what you call a buy low spot, right? This is the perfect low spot. And I know there's been a lot of buy low spots on the Lakers this year, but this is a time in the season where it's getting like the Lakers keep sliding. You see, they're going to find themselves at a 10. Like, they cannot go lower than they are. As a 9 seed, they're going to have a lot of issues. They should be able to get over the Clippers for crying out loud. The Clippers don't have Kawhi, George, Norman Powell. They don't have, their whole team. I understand Anthony Davis has been out, but come on, they have to get back into a flow tonight. So I think, taking them tonight here in this spot, is it a little risky? Of course. But and
we know Mavs as favorites don't really cover. So it's a great spot. It's a great spot for Lakers. Yeah. Everything you said, I agree with. Like, it's a huge buy low, and right now it's a sell high for Dallas. Right, they're kind of hot right now, so it's like an amazing spot, a good opportunity. I'm with you. If I were to bet this game, it would be the Lakers. It's hard. It's hard just because they're bad.
All right, let's do our favorite bet of the night here, AC. Before we sign off, I'm just going to tweet something out real quick. Just again, guys, if you retweet this video, one final chance here, 7 Stacks is going to send somebody $100. So if you're watching please just click that retweet button for us, and we won't. Our sponsor, 7 Stacks, will send somebody $100. But AC, what is your favorite bet on this NBA board tonight?
Yeah, this is hard because I haven't really capped the entire slate. One thing that really catches my eye right now, everybody is expecting a Golden State Warriors bounce back. And I'm not saying they won't cover or win, but I like their team total. We know that the T-Wolves don't really play any defense. They play really fast as well. So I think even if the Warriors don't cover the game at -1.5, I think they'll definitely cover enough points. Right now it's 116.5. 116.5 -110. I like the over there. So give me the Warriors team total 116.5.
All right. I'm going to stick with what I was saying. The Lakers tonight, +5.5. I think they bring this home, get the win. Obviously, tell with caution with the Lakers. I'm going to make it a 1-unit play. I'm not going crazy on it, but it is my favorite NBA play of the night. All right, guys, that is another edition here of 2 in the Zone. AC, we're coming up on like our 70-something episode.
Awesome.
We're going to continue to grow this thing. We are into my favorite month of the season to bet, March. We got March Madness. NBA starts cooking up. Hopefully, we'll have some MLB. I think the 31st is the opening day. So I'm watching it right now on my screen. Looks like they're getting closer to a deal. Obviously, we still got NHL. I mean, there's so much. If you want to bet on these sports, do it with 7 Stack Sports, the best in the business. Gaining a ton of traction now on Twitter. People are starting to see what we've been talking about now for years.
He's about to hit 9,500 followers, man. He's going to hit 10,000 in like a month.
Yeah. So, I mean, a ton of people here, and that's a sports book. So, I mean, that's a lot, versus Twitter guy, right? That's a lot of respect that he's getting. And we're going to have some great promotions through March Madness, right, AC? So keep an eye out for that. Watch all week collab picks that we do. Again, retweet this video, $100 giveaway that 7 Stacks will select someone tonight. But we will be back. When's our next episode? You see it tomorrow?
Thursday.
The new schedule has got me confused. We'll see you guys Thursday.
All right, bye, guys.